go so fast, all tied up like a captive. I'm on to you. Used to pit in my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know my patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer.
Hello and welcome again. It is now none other than the Battle of Gamers here at Stax' Game House, and we're so happy to be here. Let's introduce ourselves to top things off. Of course, my name is Illustrato, and joining me is an amazingly talented gentleman. You might not have met him before, but you will today. His name is Black and Blue. How are you feeling today, man?
I'm doing really good, guys. I'm excited. It is my first time joining you guys here at the Stax Game House for some Call of Duty mobile action, and well, some of the best teams in North America are going to be playing in our tournament now. So, Illustrato, tell me about what we can expect coming in from the day.
Yeah, it's going to be a hot day. We got today is going to be the Superstars bracket. So for you all watching who don't know what that is, it's going to be all about, the more veteran teams, some of the best teams in North America come in here, basically seeing what the rising superstars have done yesterday and be like, this is how we do it here. They're going to flex this time. They're going to show everyone what they've got and why they are called, of course, the superstars here today. And we have a bunch of amazing games lined up. And if you want to know more about the tournament, we are here at the Battle of Gamers. We got a $600 prize pool, absolutely insane. And that's what everybody's fighting for: the name, the experience, the glory, and of course the $600 to top it all off here. If you want to find out more about the tournament itself, of course, make sure to check out the socials at Stax Game House on Twitter and at Stax Game House on Instagram as well. We've got one heck of a matchup today, so let's talk about the upcoming first match. And before we do that, of course, take a look real quick at the bracket right here. I think I can pull that up for you right now. Yeah, I think you can see it on your screens right there. Today, we're going to be starting with the first game. It's going to be Seminal versus Fierce at 9 o'clock. That's right about now. We're going to be starting with it anytime soon. So Black and Blue, you know a little bit about these teams, right? So Seminal and Fierce, what can you tell me about these guys?
So the Seminal boys, they are the one of the underage teams, under 18, that we do have here in our tournament, and they're arguably rated number 1 in North America, especially considering how much experience that they've already had so far. And so we should expect them to come out strong here in the very first opening games. We're going to be playing a best of 3, and well, they have a good chance of coming out to that.
Yeah, I'd
going
say
up against
I was going to say that they're actually one of those teams that may be sort of an underdogs here. A lot of people are looking out at them to maybe take this all a little bit of a dark horse maybe, but they've got some stiff competition. They're going up against a team named Fierce, who has made a couple of roster changes recently. They got a couple of new players, but they have been solid performers for a very, very long time, and definitely are going to be shaking things up with a bracket here. So what do you think about this Black and Blue? They got a few new members. How does this affect chemistry? Do you think that having new members coming into a tournament is like a boost in morale, or do you think it's something that they should, is it like an adjustment phase first?
Well, I mean, typically most teams would go through kind of like a reading each other type of phase where you're not exactly sure how to play with each other yet. They're still trying to lab that out, trying to sort out and iron out all the details. But we've also seen the opposite happen, where fresh new blood comes into a team and they suddenly just flip things around. Now, of course, Fierce have been, one of the top 5 teams now. They're rated number 3 for quite a while, maybe a few months now going. And so we're going to see if they're going to continue on that tirade as one of the top teams here in NA to really try and come out against Seminal. Of course, Seminal do have I wouldn't say a chip on their shoulder, but they do have, something going against them, and that, they're the underdogs, they're the dark horse. It might just be the goat that, riles up the horns. And so, in this case, Seminal versus Fierce, I'm expecting quite a fierce match to start.
Oh man. And right on top of that, after this match, we've got some great games coming up for you. After that, we're going to be seeing Tragik versus Tribe. I'm not even going to start with that, because that match is going to be absolutely lit. We know that the game 2 of today is going to be insane, possibly the game of the day. I'm not going to say that it is definitely, but it's definitely going to be tight. Tragik versus Tribe, 2 teams that everybody already knows and loves and has seen a lot of. So I won't touch on that just yet, because that's a whole conversation on its own. But right after that, we got Knives Only versus Arsenal, and followed by Ace of Spades versus Celestial. So for those people who watched the previous tournament here on Laser Tag, Ace of Spades actually came out on top, dominating everybody. in the laser tag tournament. But of course, this is a very different tournament in itself, very much more sort of in the style of ranked, very much in the sort of more competitive sort of feel, I'd say. And we definitely have, I think, a bracket, sort of a format in this tournament that's very interesting. Like, the whole superstars versus rising amateurs. What do you think about our bracket, Black and Blue?
I mean, it's really interesting. You typically might see in the tournament like a sort of like a round robin format or like an upper bracket, lower bracket. But in this case, since we're putting up, U18 teams with other teams that have had a bit more experience, we create these weird contrasts and dynamics that you don't typically see in most tournaments, wherein you get to see exciting plays because you have straight up dark horses come up against some of the best teams, and all of these teams, of course, are going to put up a very competitive game coming into this, but it creates a lot of games that you wouldn't really expect, a lot of upsets too.
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
Lots of storylines.
There was a game we saw yesterday, and Diamonds was a team. It's actually an all-female team that came up, and they showed up, and they actually showed everybody that they are here to play. They're serious contenders. Had a very close set of games actually in the first game of the day. Unfortunately, they did not end up qualifying for today, but still showing that there's just so much diversity and so much love in Call of Duty Mobile, no matter who you are, what kind of team you are, where you're coming from. And in a tournament like this, you get to show what you got to everybody who's watching. And previous tournaments, I think here in Stax' Game House were actually eye-casted. We had a lot of all-female teams that were like wreaking havoc. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure on the name, but we had an all-female team qualified to like the quarterfinals as well. And that just goes to show that it doesn't matter like who you are, what you come from, whether you're a guy or a girl, you can come in here and play and start that dream, because that's what it's all about here at Stax' Game House. This is an organization which aims to provide players, a great a foundation, a starting point for their careers in esports, whether you want to start as a streamer, whether you want to, get known as a professional player, and definitely making ripples, in the water. That's what we're starting to see here today. But let's go and talk a little about the upcoming game that we have on our hand. We're just about to start any minute now. All the players are ready in the lobby, so don't get too antsy. We do have a game on our hands, and I think it could be very much one of the highlights of the day, actually. And you can see it right now on our screens. The visual is now coming up very, very nicely done, if I might say. It's going to be none other than the first game of the day, which is Seminal versus Fierce, and we're actually going to dive straight into it. Oh, no, sorry, I was mistaken. We're not just yet. But what are your initial thoughts about this Seminal versus Fierce? Do you have any favorites, any team that you're looking in particular? Well, we're actually just about to dive straight into it. So really quickly, any predictions?
Seminal 2-1.
Oh, okay, cool. I will go the opposite way and say Fierce will take this in a 2-1 victory. I'm hoping to see a lot of third games here today, but we'll dive straight into it. It's of course going to be Search and Destroy heading into the first game of the day. And of course, this is none other than Battle of Gamers here at Stax' Game House. And as you can see on your screens, we're already diving straight into the action.
We are, and seems like for now, nothing really too aggressive happening for either side. They're gonna pull back just a bit, and
the bomb has been planted.
Well, quick push coming in here, but no punishments coming from either side.
Yeah. It's, no one really going down just yet, so you see both of these teams playing very, very safe right now. They are actually, just sort of testing the waters. They actually do get a pick off very early on. It is currently a 3v5 situation. Sorry, make that a 3v3 as quickly trades coming in all across the map right here. Suddenly bring it down to a 2v1, and everybody seeming to fall all over the place. Now, currently, this is a very, very favored outcome for Seminal, who do have the defense right now, but the bomb is going to actually be defused, and that's going to be the first round for Seminal. They're going to take that 1-0 already. Really quick action we got here, and it was a great start right there. Not exactly the easiest thing to do on the defensive side, but they somehow managed to pull it off.
Well, exactly what I expected to come off here. Seminal with a strong start to take round number 1. Now, they are on the defensive side, and so this map does quite heavily favor them, especially once you play around the A side. And so the thing is with the A side, you can pretty much control most of the map from A around the tanker, and so it's gonna give you lots of map control in that way. A frag being found either way as the trades come in, and now it's gonna bring down to a 3v3 for either piece. Make that a 2v3 now, and so your back's against the wall here. You're trying to get the plant down here in the attacking side, and Seminal, only 2 members left alive. They still do have a sniper rifle in their hands too, so if they could deny this, which they won't, you're gonna have to fall back now and try and regroup and try to look for a better angle of attack here, as the entire warehouse section has been taken here by the attacking side, and Seminal have to try and see what they can do about this. Utility out, and it's not gonna land the mark yet.
Yeah, not just yet, but it's already a really good start here. But the bomb already being defused, and I think they're actually gonna get it somehow. Very interesting situation. They weren't able to, defend that at all, despite the fact that there were still 3 players left alive for the side of Fierce, who weren't really able to get into those post-plant situations. It's the defuses came in quite early, and they just weren't ready for it. So another round here on the board, which a round that definitely should have been going to Fierce, was stolen away from them.
Great retake there on the side by Seminal, and Fierce do lose that one once again. They do lose a pick as well, so Fierce down a member. They're able to get the trade out, and it's now a 4v4, going either way. In that case, well, 4v4s do typically favor the attacking side, and so it's going to favor Fierce here, as they try to take control of the A side. Seminal not really going to contest that for now, and seems like they're going to give up the plant, if anything.
Yeah, and they've been giving up those plants, but they're happy to do that because they know that they're capable of those retakes anyway. It's the post-plant situations that have really been, a little bit iffy for Fierce. They can't hold on to those post-plants at all. But right now, they're doing definitely a better job at it, bringing us to a 2v3 situation, especially with a knockdown like that one. But Seminal chiming in with a kill of their own. It's brought down to a 2v1 somehow, and it's all gone wrong. 1v1 in the end, and it's high going down and getting brought out now. Seminal getting that final kill yet again, and it's going to be another defuse here, cleanly winning the round. So that's now a 3-0 scoreline.
Rocket launcher to blast things off here for Seminal, and they do get it 3-0 to start off. Now, in this case, when you're up 3 rounds, you have a bit of a cushion to really play with them. So now they can really try and test things out, new waters to come out here for Seminal, and they've previously been giving up the plant, especially on A. They've been focusing more on being towards mid a bit, and they Fierce push up here towards the tank, which they are doing now, closer to the A site, then they typically give it up. But now that they do have some advantage, especially after bringing it down to a 4v3 in their favor, Seminal here, they can try and mix things up with their defense and try and really even help extend this lead, because if they stick to the right thing, even though it's been working, it might just get red eventually and get shut down by Fierce here. And as that's happening, it's down to a 4v1 in the favor of Seminal.
Yeah.
Fierce seem to be losing another round.
I'm really enjoying watching how Seminal are playing this. They're so patient. They don't care if they lose the bomb site or not. They're happy to give it away. And that's the reason for that, is because they're so confident with their retaking abilities that they know that regardless of the situation, whether they give up the plant, they can take it. They have the utility. They know how to use it well. And they know how to dismantle the crossfires that we have been seeing from the side of Fierce. And, this has been happening for the past few rounds in a row already. It's 4-0. We're going to see a side switch very soon. But there definitely needs to be some progress here for Fierce, especially on the favored side.
Well, this is the first time that Seminal have really went for an aggressive A push in the defense, and it works out. Initially, they did lose the opening pick, but the trades coming in here for Seminal, able to play off the info that they were given that a rush towards the A site was underway by Fierce, and Seminal do take a 5th round, 5-0 straight.
Now we're switching. Seminal on the offense. They're going to go for that attack. I kind of want to figure out how they're going to play this. And it looks like they kind of just want to, give cop a feel for Fierce. They kind of want to just see how they play. Nobody really pushing aggressively. Nobody on the defense trying to take any ridiculous amount of map control, just holding passive, waiting. And both teams kind of just feeling each other out. But Bomb will now be going down for free here over at the A site. And it's going to be a retake situation, 5v5.
Well, seems like for now, the 5v5, everything taking a bit of a slower pace. No aggression being shown yet, but they are trying to shoulder peek here towards A. The trade out either way, and that's going to bring it down to a 4v3. After Seminal do find the pickings. Now a 3v2 after that comes in. You're going to have a chance to retake here, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Seminal, you just close out the round 6-0.
Yeah, it's game number 1, absolutely demolishing Fierce here. Not a single chance to reply at all. Semi-final advancing, going on to the next stage. No, sorry, pardon me. They're advancing to the next game is what I wanted to say. We still have a game number 2 on our hands when we're going to go for Hardpoint. Pardon me. And it's going to be very exciting because I'm hoping to see a little bit of an improvement here for the side of Fierce. In terms of tactics, from what I saw, it just looked like Fierce just wasn't up to the level. Seminal was really walking in there, taking in sights, dismantling crossfires, and was just absolutely on point in every single facet of the game. But maybe we'll see something different in game number 2. What do you think we got to see here, Black and Blue, from Fierce to maybe come back into this game?
I'm actually excited for map number 2 because we're gonna be playing Hardpoint now. Hardpoint is the way you kind of cut the different game modes in Call of Duty up classically are respawn and non-respawn game modes. Non-respawn would be a game mode like Search and Destroy, which has been around in FPSs forever, but Call of Duty is really built around the whole respawn game mode. That's Team Deathmatch, Domination, Hardpoint, and other game modes of the like. And because Call of Duty was built that way, that's where the classic roles come in. And if you guys aren't familiar, to get educational for a bit, you have your main AR, which is your main assault rifle. You have your anchor, who you typically expect to hold down your spawn point so that you don't get flipped, so you can gain map control. You can hold map control that you have. So main AR, anchor, your main objective player, speaks for itself there. The main guy to go for the objective, although nowadays that can be anybody. You have your support, who brings most of the utility. They typically have some sort of trophy system or the like to try and deny some utility coming their way. The support and the main AR both bring trophy systems usually. So once again, main AR, anchor, main objective, and support. And the fifth that you guys are probably the most aware of when it comes to Call of Duty is pretty much the top fragger. In Call of Duty, it's called the Slayer, or the main sub, the main SMG. What their job is to do is to be the first guy in, be the first guy to push, be the first guy to flank, supported by the main assault rifle guy. And so in a game mode coming in like a Hardpoint, where it's a classic Call of Duty type of game mode, it's a game mode where we got respawns in. That is where the classic roles and classic kind of play styles do come in. Because Search and Destroy, there aren't really as hard to find roles. You typically just have like, okay, you have your guy on the sniper, you have your guy on the SMG and the AR. You don't need to have an anchor because you're not going to lose any map control from your spawn. You can't flip spawns, you can't switch spawns in S&D. You don't really need that type of objective player because anybody can plant the bomb. And so in coming into Hardpoint, I'm excited for Fierce because while it does seem that Seminal here are quite formidable on the Search and Destroy, Hardpoint is an entirely different beast. And Fierce, their play style where they try to stick together so much more, it might just play in favor of the Hardpoint style, but we're gonna see how that's gonna really turn out. Of course, guys, do like and share the stream to everybody you know. This is the Stacks Game House, and so here at our tournament, we are quite we're quite happy to really bring you all this competition. And so,
and speaking of liking and sharing, make sure to check us out, following our pages. Illustrato over there on Facebook, fb.com/Caster Illustrato, and Black and Blue on Twitter if you want to get to know us casters a little bit better. And we're going to go to the second game very, very shortly. We're not going to cut to break this time. We're going to try to dive straight in and bring you the action. Maybe take a break after the next one because I feel like it's going to be hotter this time around. We did mention that Hardpoint, one of the classic Call of Duty mobile style, Call of Duty style games, actually, in general, game modes, something that we've all come to know and love coming and growing up with this genre here. This is what we want to see. So going back to our roots here, maybe a team like Fierce will be a little bit more comfortable, and that's probably what we expect to see coming into the second game. Now, if I'm going to make any quick predictions, I do think it's going to be Seminal coming up here just because of how dominant they were, winning every single firefight, getting that map control, and just dominating every single point of search and destroy. But as we all know, search and destroy is a very, very different playstyle from any other game mode right now in Call of Duty Mobile. So we'll see. But what about you, Black and Blue? Real quick, hit me up with your prediction. How do you think Map 2 is going to go?
I mean, I'm expecting Map 2 to be, quite competitive, but as my initial predictions were said, it's 2-1. I'm still taking Seminal, but 2-1. I think they're going to win Map 3. If anything, Fierce have a good chance of coming back into this. If you kind of want to think of it this way, Seminal are quite a young team, and if they grew up playing FPSs in their time, under 18, then a lot of the games that they've probably grown up with.
That's kind of like Black Ops 3 era, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that era. Because I grew up, I think I grew up playing Call of Duty, 2. I'm like Call of Duty 2, not even, just straight up 2, not even Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty 2.
Yeah.
I'm that old.
1. I started with 1 and then 2, and big red one, which is like 2.5.
Yeah, was one on the what do you call this, Xbox? Or the Xbox 360. Well, whatever. We'll talk about that later. Let's go straight into game number 2. It's going to be Seminal in the 1-0 lead versus Fierce, who are starting off on the back foot here. It's now going to be Hardpoint. Let's figure out where these guys go and whether we're going to be seeing a game number 3.
Speaking of classics, we're going to be playing on Crash this time, and the quick 3v5, 2 opening picks already here for Fierce. And they're taking control of mid mostly here on the Crash site, and that is quite important. You really want to hold down the pillar's position here, especially from Blue, to get to gain a lot of map control that way. Still, the Hardpoint has not yet gone up, and we're going to see some points actually being burned here as Seminal already up double the lead, almost, of their opposing team, and so they are bringing it quite close, but at least for now, everything seems to be tied
up. That early aggression. I mean, fortunately for the side of Fierce, they are in the lead and they're pretty okay. But let me reiterate, this is not a large difference of score whatsoever. Holding down 1 point, locking it down is going to give them a large score boost here. I mean, the overall goal is to get to 150, and so there's a lot of wiggle room left, especially now that Seminal has taken over a point. But the question is, how long will that be? It is currently hotly contested. Sprays going down left and right, everybody seeming to drop. And I honestly think this game is hanging in the balance so tight that it could go anyway. We saw crazy comebacks happening yesterday with 148 points somehow being turned around against Apex. I think we might just see more today.
Definitely true. Now, they're taking control of the back alley here against Fierce. And, a double kill actually being found there by Fierce. And, well, I believe they still are down. Yes. Points. Seminal still have quite a chance to come up here. At 28 with Fierce quite ferociously. They're taking control here of the garage and the cafe, and that's actually quite a big position to hold because it's directly opposing Blue here, and the Hardpoint is theirs as well. As Seminal are trying to retake it in return, they're going to try and fend this off, but each member of Fierce is going down. They have a good crossfire to hold in the default door here, but otherwise, Seminal trying to find a way to not just run in one by one. They're getting shredded entirely. That's not going to bode well for them as the Hardpoint expires here in just a sec.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what their plan going into the Hardpoint was. It seems like they just wanted to deny points instead of taking the Hardpoint itself. Not exactly the best thing, peeking into those angles and diving into the, into the Hardpoint one at a time. That definitely cost them a lot of points in the end. It's already 100 to 32. This game really starting to slip away from Seminal here. Fierce really dominating at this point, taking control of almost every hard point, and it seems like every piece of momentum that Seminal has fought so hard for in game number 1 is just slipping away from them. 45 to 100, sorry, 41. Can't really see without my glasses very much, but 100 points, 114. That is a very big scoreline here. I mean, it's not impossible. Holding down a certain, hard point quite well will definitely net them enough points to make that comeback. We've seen crazy comebacks happen. It's very possible, but I just don't know if they can do it like this with the rate that they're playing.
Well, they do get a triple kill there with the Annihilator, so that's going to buy them just a bit of time in terms of map control to really move up first and foremost here. Fierce over Seminal. Through the broken wall, he does find a frag and, well, wrapping back around here towards the top spawn as well. Another one towards the back alley gets sucked into the void. The hard point is firmly controlled here by Fierce, and as the flames are burning down, point, they're trying to defuse it in just by just waiting it out.
Frag out.
Seems like Fierce are well underway to taking map number 2 here. They have double the points over Seminal.
Yeah.
I just they pretty much have this in lock.
Yeah, well, this is pretty much the end of the game. This is pretty much GG, so we will be finally seeing a game number 3. The first series of the day will be taking us to game number 3, and big congratulations to Fierce. They have survived and fought well on Hardpoint. Now we're going to be going on to Domination next. I'm so excited for that, but let's take a look currently at the overall performances of these guys. It has, oh, and look at that. Oof, can't really read very well, but yeah, can you read that? I
can read Sneaky YT.
Yeah, Sneaky YT and Programmer coming in. Second Pro Gamer, sorry. Wow, I'm just absolutely blind at this point. Forgive me, ladies and gents.
we're just illiterate.
Yeah. We barely speak English over here. I mean, like it's a miracle we can even read. But we do have one more game on our hands, and the next game is going to be none other than Domination. So Domination, one of those classic respawn maps that you talked about a lot earlier. It's going to be controlling, obviously, points A, B, and C, looking for those double caps, those triple caps, and it's all about controlling and knowing where to go. And tell me a little bit more about game modes like Domination, Black and Blue. What do we expect to see coming into the third game? What are you hoping to see from these teams?
Well, Domination, you have one goal: to dominate, and I believe that's exactly what both these teams are trying to do. I initially predicted 2-1, and I still do believe that is true in the favor here for Seminal. And coming into Domination, well, there's something there. Sorry, there are two philosophies when it comes to Domination. Some teams would rather, if they start on A, they spawn closer to A, starting the map, they'll go for the A, and then they'll try and go for straight B, which is the midpoint of the game. Other teams like to send their route man, call it, or support. Route man, basically they're the flank players with their main sub or main SMG to go push and back cap. So let's say you have A control. Instead of trying to fight for B, which is towards the middle part of the map, you try to get C immediately and go directly for the map control, and that way you can pin certain B if you can take the C point quite quickly. It doesn't work as well for every single map. There are some maps that it favors a bit more because some are a bit too open, wherein like you can still challenge C even though you're trying to take B. Kind of like firing range for one.
Oh yeah.
If you play around Tin, the garage warehouse, that 2-floor warehouse that's in between B and C, you can contest both sides no problem. And so in that case, the team that might spawn C there, in that case on firing range. What map are we playing? I don't even know. Why am I talking about?
We're on firing range.
We are on firing range.
We are on firing range.
Big brain.
Yeah. So we are actually on firing range, and speaking of firing range, we're gonna dive straight into the game very, very soon. I'm gonna give you one last chance to change your prediction because I feel like my prediction Fierce, I think they're gonna go through. No, they're gonna stick to your guns. All right, we'll find out in just a second whether Seminal advances or whether it's gonna be Fierce going with the reverse sweep taken in this best of 3 series. But of course, before we go into the game itself, we want to give you all a reminder to make sure to like our pages and check it out. Subscribe on YouTube. That's where all of this is going down. And to like the socials, of course, it's Stacks Gamehouse on Instagram and at Twitter. That's where we're going to give you the play-by-plays and all of the updates on our future tournaments and obviously current tournaments, just like Battles of Gamers right now. And of course, if you want to show your support, make sure you send us some love in the chat. We are definitely reading those chats. Let us know who you think will be advancing today, whether it's going to be Seminal or Fierce, or of course any of the rest of the teams playing here today, because today is all about the superstars. So before we head into the game itself, I do want to ask you a really quick question here. Before we start with the game, what do you think Black and Blue Seminal needs to do to get their head back straight into this game, because they were defeated quite handily in the second one?
They pretty much just gotta do, well, it works a bit better in Search and Destroy, but it's still a thing that you can do in Domination, where instead of trying to contest when it comes to Fierce trying to take a certain objective, they fall back instead. So let them take it and they go for the retake. In this case, I think they can sort of pull that out, a hybrid of that coming to Domination. Of course, in Domination it's a bit different, but the lesson there is that if you're in a losing fight, you don't have to take that fight. And in Hardpoint, they kept on doing that. We saw there when they were trying to push into the cafe, that point, especially when Fierce had it, they just kept on rushing in one by one, trying to take these fights that they really did not have to take.
Yeah, we saw that happening earlier on. Like, they were always trying to go for, these pushes, trying to deny points, but instead of executing together. But hopefully this will be different as we dive straight into the last game of the series, best of 3. Here we go, Seminal in a 1-1 against Fierce, and we are on El Clasico as well. Firing range, one of the most quintessential Call of Duty maps. And here we are, of course. It's going to be currently both sides just securing their own points. Nobody really going for B just yet. Just trying to get control over trailer. Just trying to see if they can make wood work for them, but nobody really falling down on either side at the moment.
Well, they do have a trophy system here for Fierce towards trailer. That tells you an idea that they really want to hold it down. Wood play coming in here, and it's actually a very important position. Not the strongest one, but it's important. You do have control of the entirety of the B site, the vision at least, of the entirety of mid, but there isn't much way in the way of cover there towards wood, only concealment. So, very strong position to be holding. They're pushing now through firing range, which is right behind the trailer towards the C Charlie site here for Seminal, but still, no teams taking control of B yet, and whoever comes out on top is going to try and do that. Back cap trying to be taken here by Fierce towards the A site, and the same being done by Seminal towards C. Neither of them successful in doing that yet. It does seem like Seminal might just, it's going to be Fierce who's going to take control of B site for now.
Yeah, but I don't know if they can hold on to it very well, because they don't really have control over trailer. They barely have control over wood. So, but they will actually get that back cap that you mentioned earlier. Now, it is actually going to be both A and C in the hands of Seminal, but will be quickly taken away by Fierce, now taking A for themselves, responding with a cap of their own. Now it's going to be still B in contention. No one really holding control of it. They do have one player on the side of Seminal lurking into trailer, trying to get that control, that map control that is so crucial here. But no one really able to control it. So this game still hanging tightly in the balance between these both teams.
Map number 3, and so far it's the closest game we've seen from both of these teams in the series. Now, B, once again, not even being controlled here at the Bravo site. A and Charlie have both been swapped from the start, and so both teams pretty much neck and neck right now. Nobody really on top. Seminal only up by like 3 points, 4 at max. Not really much to really work with here in terms of a lead advantage.
I'm down.
Playing here from 10. Let's see, Seminal, and gonna lose their man down. Right opposite of that is going to be Fierce. You do have some players here playing from the back of wood and from the back of trailer. He has a great long angle to cover off one of the entries into the back of trailer from Charlie to block off any Seminal players from there, and does find a frag through it. It is quite a long-range fight though, and still no control of Charlie has been taken. I'm surprised, I mean Bravo rather, I'm surprised nobody's really taking control of Bravo here. Typically what you would see is they'd put in some deployable cover, some shields or anything of the like, smoke it down, get on the ground, and take Bravo, but nobody's really been going for that yet.
Yeah, no, all we've been seeing is sort of them trying to secure map control from each other. We haven't really seen anybody do those executes where they drop those trophy systems, those smoke grenades, and sort of just crouch in the ground and hope that they survive. Nobody's really done that at the moment. Everybody's trying to scramble because I think it all started when that reverse cap happened, that back cap happened when actually Seminal took that C point from Fierce. Ever since then, they've sort of just been trying to, get more and more map control to be able to take that B, but nobody really making any decisive strikes just yet.
Annihilator quickly removed, and it seems like here Seminal Fierce rather are trying to back cap and rather take B control of a Predator missile.
No, I don't think he got a single one.
Oh no, he didn't. He missed. You're right.
Yeah.
He whiffed entirely.
Yeah.
Looks like he almost did, but the whiff comes in, and Seminal are playing here from back of the trailer. They're pushing in from Charlie, and it seems like they're trying to make their way rounding through the firing range, and here through vegetation into the site. As they're playing here from the barracks, spawn has been quite a difficult one to get out of. Fierce trying to take control of B, but they don't really commit to it. They can't, as Seminal are really putting a lot of effort into taking Bravo site, and they've actually retaken it now for their favor. This might be the start that they needed, as well, Fierce have already taken an early lead, and if they can hold on to Bravo here, and actually it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to, they're going to have a chance to come back, and that would be Seminal to win the first half here of Domination.
Not by much, however, it is Fierce coming up with 67 points, not that far behind. So this is definitely still very much doable. I think a change of strategy might be in order here. They should probably start considering going for those fast executes onto the B side. Really start trying to go for those smoke plays, but we really haven't seen much of that just yet. It's really all about slowly creeping and trying to get control over it. And yet again, it sort of continues. We did see a couple of ideas right now trying to get into that B side, but nobody really holding on to it very, very long. I do want to see a little bit more sort of dynamic play from both of these teams, because it currently appears that there's continuously just trying to feel each other out, currently trying to, crawl towards that B side. Nobody really going for those hard plays, those fast plays.
Yeah, still a Bravo site. Same story that we saw in the first half. Nobody taking Bravo site, but Seminal seems to be backcapping. They're gonna take A. Now they have most of the map control, and they can take B comfortably here. As Fierce not in a position to stop them from doing that. The great Molotov out, and Fierce do opt to go for Charlie instead, but no cap on Bravo. It seems here for Seminal. I think they should have done it while they had the chance. Pushing through wood here, a player from Fierce, and he's gonna find a frag. Almost finds a double, but he's gonna get traded out instead. And now, the backup coming in for Fierce, and they're going to take A and Charlie.
Yeah, what a good play to make at this point. Very, very crucial to do that. They might just lose C, but the fact that they actually got the point A and are able to secure a few more points and apply some pressure will help buy them some time for B. As you can see right now, Smoke's coming in down the middle, maybe trying to get them some position onto B. Will be denied really quickly, though, as any ideas, any hopes of taking B side is just completely washed away at this point here. But the score still tied neck to neck, 100-97. There's basically nothing separating these two teams. It's absolutely inseparable, the both of these teams.
A tidal wave of aggression coming in here from Fierce now as they try and finally make it push, but it seems like Seminal are holding on here to the top of wood quite well, and did he just TK himself?
Yeah. I think that just happened.
Unfortunately.
It happens. Well, yeah, you never can expect these things. But look at this. Currently, still nobody controlling wood. I mean, it's just a brawl here in wood. A little bit less so in trailer. They have tried to, send a couple people in, some scouts to try and control trailer, but it's never really been the big point of contention here. They have only ever held one or two players, and I think that's why it's been so slow. Nobody really ever controlled trailer fully or had a good secure over that area, and I think that's why maybe they had such a difficult time, both of these teams, securing that B site.
I'm actually surprised to see that nobody's really been playing the garage/tin position. people typically like to leave at least a man there, especially the team that has control of Charlie, because then it can help facilitate the control of Bravo. And so I'm surprised that here in this case, when Seminal had control of Charlie, they're not committing a member to playing there on top of Garage on the second floor. And it's actually quite a big thing, I think, to take into note. Of course, some teams like to play a bit more dynamically, but that's how you typically see teams hold on to both Charlie and push on from Bravo. You have another play there, but in this case, Seminal not going for that. They're able to deny the retake on to Charlie at least, and so they're going to hold on to that for now. A back cap seems to be coming underway, and they do successfully take control of A. Bravo might just be following suit soon, but Fierce going to try and put a stop to that, and for now they're going to delay that from happening. But
triple cap.
Domination coming in here.
Yeah, what a triple cap already happening. Really well played. It took quite a bit of time, and what good awareness and what a good rotation that we just saw coming in right here from Seminal. They lost quite a lot of points. Fierce getting 2 now, however, quickly taking back 2 points from them, and at the moment everything is looking too close, but they can't really lose that many points more because it's 5 points left before Seminal actually takes home this game in the series.
Game is almost over in Seminal. You seem to be on their way to taking map number 3, and they do. They take the series 2-1. I'm an Enigma. My predictions are right.
Well done. It is 2-1, and absolutely correct prediction right there from Black and Blue, seeing Seminal go up ahead in the second game. It was a very close game in the end. A lot of double caps, a lot of back caps, and actually a triple cap that we saw in the end coming up right there from Seminal to take back their points and obviously to win the game for them in the end. And a big congratulations to them. They will be advancing, and unfortunately for Fierce, will be eliminated and will no longer be participating in this tournament, but we hope to see more of them definitely in the future. We do have a few more games on our hands, but in the meantime, we do gotta take a short break, calm down, relax a bit, because that game was